Good evening. How are you doing?
Fine, sir.
How's your day been? Hope you had a fabulous Sunday.
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Hello, Oloma. Good day. Welcome to today's session. Oloma Anasike, good day. I'm calling names because I need to be certain that you all are not just logging into the class and leaving your phone to be. I need to be sure you're actually here in class and present. So as many who join the class, I'm going to do that as a way of um, attendance call to be certain that you're here, because do not forget that your participation in the program actually guarantees you're taking the final exams and getting your certificate at the end of the day. Okay, Oloma, that's nice. That's nice. Thank you. It's nice to know. Nice having Mr. Dennis and Sophie on the in the session already. It's past 4. We're waiting for our mentors to join us in the session so we can quickly start off. This is week 3 of the second quarter 2024 of the JIIPCCMIP Intellectual Property and Creative Consulting Mentorship and Internship Program. It's been an amazing period so far, and we thank God for that. My name is Goslove Kamaluni, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. So we want to have a very amazing time. It's health tech and law. Today we're looking at e-health and some issues that affect trending or emerging aspects of e-health. Hello, Pascal. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's session. Hello, Pascal. If you can hear me, kindly unmute and say something, or you can put it in the chat box. I need to be sure that when you come into the group, you're actually here and present. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pascal. You're welcome. I think at this point, I'll make a few announcements and then we'll go through our mentors' profiles so that as they join the session, we just flow from there. Do not forget that registration for the next quarter has begun already. Yes, here at JIIPCC, we do not wait for the last minute. We've said offered, we've kicked off rather registrations already. You can kindly register for more classes you want to take on or more courses you want to take on. Do not forget that you can also refer the program to others. If this program has been of immense help and really educational to you and for you, you can also recommend it to others by way of referral. We have amazing programs like the IP course, that's intellectual property course, artificial intelligence and technology, the energy industry, fintech industry, health tech and law, the one we're in now, patent drafting, blockchain, NFT and metaverse, data privacy and protection, entertainment, business and law, and of course, the alternative dispute resolution. Do not forget here at JIIPCC, you can take more than one course at a time. You're really welcome. And as I've said before, here in the program, your participation is highly necessary. If you are a mentee in this program, you must be 100% participating with regards to being in class, being active in class, submitting your articles, presenting when you need to, and helping out with the slides. You must be 1,000% available throughout the session. This is going to guarantee taking your final exams and getting a certificate. As many who are not really active in the program might be kicked off the program. So you need to be very much involved with the program. Okay, we have one of our mentors already with us. That's Mr. Ebenezer Egwatu. It's always an honor having you, Mr. Ebenezer. He's been a long-standing member of the JIIPCC faculty when it comes to the mentors, an immense contribution to the health tech and the law course. Thank you so much. It's really amazing having you again with us. I know we've heard from him before, we already know who he is, but as a way of refreshing our memories, Mr. Ebenezer C. Egwatu is a legal practitioner, medical law consultant, certified mediator, a trained legislative drafter, and a passionate patents rights and safety advocate. He is the principal partner, Law Fount Multidisciplinary Consults, a firm that provides innovative legal solutions located in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. He's also the founder and executive director of Lawyers Arise for the People Initiative, the LAPI, a patients' rights and safety advocacy NGO. Ebenezer is a trained medical care assessor by International Medical Law Center, St. Kitts, North America. He's a member of Nigerian Bar Association, that's the NBA, member of the Medical Law Professionals Association of Nigeria, that's the MELPAN, the member of the Institute of Medical and Health Law, IMHL, member of the Bioethics Society of Nigeria, BESON, member of the Patient Safety Africa, member World Association for Medical Law, WAML, and member Association of Legislative Drafters and Advocacy Practitioners, that's the ALDRAP. He currently serves as the chairman, Health and Medical Law Committee, Nigerian Bar Association, Garki Branch, Abuja, the Public Relations Officer, Institute of Medical and Health Law, IMAHL, and the legal team lead for Make a Hospital Work, MOHW campaign, a citizen-led committee-based advocacy to improve the quality of healthcare services in hospitals and primary healthcare facilities across Nigeria. He trains doctors, nurses, and healthcare practitioners on promoting patients' rights and avoiding medical negligence. He is an avid reader, a researcher, and loves to serve God by serving humanity. One more time, welcome to our amazing mentor, Mr. Ebenezer. Also joining the faculty for this quarter, we have an amazingly beautiful mentor joining us. I'll also go through her profile quickly so that we can quickly hear from our mentors and then to the mentees. Okay, our next mentor is Dr. Omoye Aritha Okon. Please, ma'am, if I do not pronounce that name properly, help me later. Dr. Omoye Aritha Okon. For more than 6 years, Dr. Omoye Aritha has been practicing conventional medicine in Nigeria. She's extremely passionate about combining orthodox and alternative medical techniques to bring back the body's overall wellness and health. Dr. Aritha lives a balanced life. She is a proactive healthy lifestyle advocate, a singer-songwriter, and she enjoys scientific research, rehabilitation technology, and nature. She provides her clients with information on how to love themselves to every cell in order to achieve optimum wellness. Some of her work focus include degenerative diseases of the spine, geriatric integrative therapy, and research on the effects of vitamin D3 supplementation in chronic pain management. Her qualifications include Doctor of Medicine from Ukraine, Diploma of Complementary Medicine from Malaysia, Family Planning Practitioner from the USAID, Spinal Flexibility and Stretch Exercise Specialist from Nigeria, member of Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, the MDCN, member of Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, and of course, a registered nurse with the Ukrainian Medical Council, UMC. It's really an honor having you with us, Dr. Omoye Aritha. We really are opportunity and privileged to have you in the session. So a big welcome to our mentors already here with us. That's to Mr. Ebenezer and Dr. Omoye. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to give the floor to our resident experts and of course a favorite here at JIIPCC when it comes to health tech and law. That's Mr. Ebenezer to give us his opening statement on today's course. Over to you, Mr. Ebenezer. Thank you so much, sir.
Good to see you. Long time.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Well, I have a challenge. I've been grappling with, I've not received the material. The material that was sent to me is renewable energy and climate change. So I'm trying to sort that out at the back end. So I'm trying to reach out to
Okay, I'm sorry, sir. Please, we're having some issues here with what you're saying, please. I don't know. Am I the only one having this complication? Because I can barely hear him. Please, someone else should help me out. Am I the only one, or is general?
We can't really hear Mr. Ebenezer too.
Okay. So we're having an issue with the audio, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, much better. Yes, sir. Much better. Yes, sir. Much better.
Okay, so it was my earphone problem. I am saying that I do not have the material yet. There's a mix-up in the material that was sent to me, renewable energy and climate change. And I've been trying to sort that out at the back end. I've sent a WhatsApp message to Sophia. She's here to respond. So I'm trying to reach Williams or Dennis so that I can get the proper material for today's class. If you have it, you can forward to me on WhatsApp. So in the interim, I will suggest that if the doctor goes on so that we do not waste time. Doctor, good evening and welcome. It's a pleasure sharing this
okay, sir.
class with you. So I don't have the material yet. And
I think we've lost Doctor again. I think we've lost her, probably some issues with network, because she was on just a few minutes ago and she's off again. I think probably she's having some issues with network at the moment. But we're so sorry about that, sir.
So
I believe
can
Mr. Dennis is trying
just
to
forward
fix
me the material on WhatsApp?
Okay, Mr. Dennis, please, can you help us with that, please?
This topic, can I have the slides?
Sorry, sir, about that. I'm trying to forward it to you right now, so I'm so sorry about
Just send it to me on WhatsApp now.
Okay, sir, I'm doing that now.
Okay, please, mentees, while we're getting this fixed, please, those presenting for today, kindly get ready. If they are not here, backup presenters, get ready. Listen, no one presenting today would be allowed to not present. You must present today. Our mentors are here. We must have your presentations. This is to our mentees. And as some who are probably backup presenters, get ready to take up the backup role to handle the presentations. Here at JIIPCC, we take it very seriously because it's a training ground. You're learning not just on the course, but also how to grow as professionals in society. You'll be called to make stuff like this in the future, presentations. You must always be ready. So please, health tech law course, we need to ensure and show us that you're ready for this course. Hello, Dr. Aretha, welcome back. I don't know if you're having some issues with network. Hello, doctor. Okay, we don't have Dr. Full on yet. Probably missing
Can the material be shared on the group?
Good afternoon, sir.
On the JIIPCC group, I will
hello
from there.
Okay, hello, doctor. Good afternoon.
Well,
welcome.
Let them go ahead with their presentation. Let them go ahead with the presentation. Just find a way of sending the slides to me. But they can go ahead.
Okay, so we have Doctor back on now. Hello, Doctor. Good afternoon. Welcome to the session.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been having some network hitches too as well. I don't know if it's from my end or from the other side. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of this.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. I'm actually hearing you very well. Are you hearing me very well as well?
Loud, clear, and crisp. It's really an honor having you with us here at
Excellent.
JIIPCC. Okay, thank you. So at this point,
Thank
we'll
you
have
so
our
much,
mentees.
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's an honor. Okay, we'll have our mentees make their presentations now. After that, we'll be calling our mentors for their opening statements as well as their feedbacks on the presentation. So over to the groups for the presentation. Please, presenter, take over now. Over to the presenter. Please unmute your mic, lead us in, and then you can share your slide. Over to our presenter. If the presenter is not available, please, the backup presenter, take over immediately. Who's our presenter for today, please? Hello, mentees. Do we still have you here? I want to confirm that, please. Who was meant to present for today? I need the name, please.
I think it's Oluwajuwonle. The backup presenter is currently not in class. I can't see her.
Oluwajuwon is in class. Oluwajuwon is in class.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was the presenter. I made this slide, but I wasn't assigned to present today.
Okay, so it's a good thing you made the slide. Oluwajuwon, kindly present to us, please, on the topic for today for your group. Thank you. Hello, Juwon, can you hear me, please?
Sorry, I don't know if the slide could be shared. I'm unable to share
Okay,
it.
I
Go
believe
ahead and
Mr.
start.
Dennis
I will
can
help
help
you
with
share.
that. Just, yes. Please just carry on, carry on. Is there a second group presenting today, please?
The other group didn't submit their presentation.
Okay, please, second group, we'll have a huge talk after this class on why you didn't send your presentation. Thank you so much. And after her presentation, please, Mr. Dennis, get me 2 names from that group that will still make a presentation without a slide. Here at JIIPCC, we take things very, very seriously. Oluwajuwon, over to you. Let's have your presentation. Thank you so much. The slide will be shared
Alright.
for you to carry on with your presentation. Thank you. Carry on,
All right.
please.
Thank you. The topic is e-health, legal issues in emerging health tech. So the first slide talks about introduction to AI in healthcare. Introduction to AI in healthcare. Artificial intelligence is a transformative technology in healthcare that offers innovative solutions to improve patient care, diagnosis, treatment, and healthcare delivery. Next slide. AI encompasses a range of technologies that includes machine learning, natural language processing, and robotics, which have the potential to revolutionize healthcare. Applications of AI in healthcare include medical imaging analysis, predictive analysis, personalized treatment recommendations, virtual health assistance, and drug discovery. And then we have a few importance of the regulation of AI in healthcare, which include patient safety. So it's very important that AI in healthcare is regulated, as it ensures the safety of patients, which is paramount in the field. Also is data privacy, which is also very related to patient healthcare. We try to ensure that the information of the patients are kept confidential and they are not disclosed to unauthorized persons. Also, it is important to regulate AI in healthcare to meet ethical standards. So standards like beneficence, non-maleficence, confidentiality, informed consent. These things are very important, and these are the reasons why we need to regulate AI in healthcare. So next slide. Current regulatory landscape. Currently, Nigeria does not have an established national policy specifically dedicated to artificial intelligence. However, the National Information Technology Development Agency, alongside the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics and other relevant stakeholders, is leading efforts to advance initiatives in this area. So there are currently no national policies available dedicated to artificial intelligence, not to talk of artificial intelligence in healthcare, but some agencies and bodies are working on that at the moment. Next slide. Regulations in other countries. So in more advanced countries, next slide, please. Regulations in other countries. So in more advanced countries in the world, there are regulations that we could look at. FDA regulation. The US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, regulates AI-based medical devices and software applications through its pre-market approval process. This in turn ensures safety, efficacy, and quality standards. EU regulation. The European Union has introduced the Medical Devices Regulation, MDR, and the In Vitro Diagnostics Regulation, IVDR, to regulate AI-powered medical devices. This emphasizes on conformity, assessment, clinical evaluation, and post-market surveillance. Then international standards. Organizations such as the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, develop standards for AI in healthcare, addressing interoperability, quality management, and ethical considerations. Next slide, please. So the challenges and future directions when it comes to AI in healthcare include the dynamic nature of AI, regulatory harmonization, and ethical and social implications. So these are things that should be considered when talking about AI in healthcare. Next slide, please. The ethical implications of genetic testing. Within cells to identify variations or mutations that may be associated with genetic disorders. Implications. There are some things that have to be considered. So one of them is that there is a need to ensure that patients understand the purpose, risk, and implications of the test.
I can no longer hear the presenter.
Hello?
Hello, Goslov, Mr. Goslov. I can no longer hear the presenter.
Okay, I think she has some issues with network, but she's back on now.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Hello, Jumo. At the point we couldn't hear you, but we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry
Yes,
about that.
you may carry on. Do you mind being a little bit more audible so we can appreciate your position even better?
All right.
Merci.
Okay, so ethical implications of genetic testing. Ethical consideration in relation to consent. Ensuring patients understand the purpose, risk, and implications of the test, have the capacity to make decisions and are not coerced. So it's important when carrying out genetic tests that patients understand the purpose of the test, the risks involved, and the implications of the test, and they must also have the capacity to make decisions, and we must ensure that they are not forced to engage in the process. Then ethical implications of genetic testing in relation to genetic discrimination. Genetic information, being inherently personal and sensitive, could be misused to unfairly discriminate to unfairly discriminate against individuals in various aspects of their lives, including employment, insurance coverage, and access to opportunities. So, when genetic testings are carried out, such genetic information are available to the health institution or the medical practitioner, and there are ethical implications involved to ensure that this information is not disclosed, is not misused to unfairly discriminate against individuals in various aspects of their lives. Then ethical implications of genetic testing in relation to the responsible use of genetic data. So here we're talking about privacy and confidentiality, responsible data sharing and access, minimization of harm, equity and fairness, transparency and accountability. All of these things must be ensured. All of these things must be promoted when it has to do with genetic testing. Next slide, please. Telehealth regulation and licensing. Telehealth regulation and licensing pose significant legal challenges and regulatory barriers to the adoption of telehealth services and licensure requirements for healthcare providers across states and international borders. Now, state licensure requirements. Each state has its own licensing requirements for healthcare providers. It creates complexities for telehealth companies, which can hinder the ability of telehealth practitioners to deliver services across state lines. Interstate compact agreements. To address this issue, some states have entered into interstate compact agreements, allowing healthcare providers to practice across state lines without obtaining additional licenses.
Hello,
Hello?
Joan.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So thank you so much. We appreciate this. Please, can you present more on the slide and read it to us, please? Thank you. Thank you. We can already read it through. Just present on it so that it can make it faster and flow better. But you're doing a great job, though. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay. So when we talk about telehealth regulation and licensing, telehealth is like administration of healthcare from a far distance or through information technology like phones and emails and things like that. So there is a need to regulate telehealth. Also, there might be a need for licensing. So that's why we're talking about state licensure requirements, interstate compact agreements, and international licensing. Now, the next slide. In conclusion, addressing the legal challenges and regulatory barriers associated with telehealth regulation and licensing is crucial for the widespread adoption and effectiveness of telehealth services. This requires cooperation between policymakers, healthcare providers, and telehealth companies to develop licensing processes and ensure compliance with relevant laws and regulations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joe. It's really an honor having you handle that presentation. So don't forget that most often we have people who are not available to handle, but you held your own and did a good job with the presentation. Okay, although I think our mentors will finish up on the other part. So over to the next group, like I said, where are those in group 2, please? If you're in group 2, kindly signify. Thank you. As quickly as possible. Uju, Miracle, Oloma, please, what groups are you in?
Okay, I'm Miracle. I'm in group 2.
Okay, so the group is meant to present Miracle. Your slide was not sent in.
It's group 1 that didn't send in their presentation.
Okay, so who are those in group 1, please? Miss Suke, please, what group are you in? Okay, so I will get that sorted very soon. Quickly, we'll just go back to our mentors who want to say a big sorry to them for the inavailability of one of the groups slide for today. Okay, so I think we want to do this. Mr. Vanessa has been a resident with us over time. So for this session, let's open up with Dr. Aretha. Let's hear from her as a form of introduction and welcome to JIIPCC. Let's hear her take on today's topic, that's healthcare issues and regards to e-health issues and emerging issues it could have with regards to the law. Over to you, please, Doctor. Let's have your introduction as well as your take on the slides of our mentees, if you got the right slide. Over to you, Doctor. Thank you so much. Oh. Mr. Dennis, I think we've lost both our mentors at the same time. Can you see Mr. Dennis, please?
Okay. None of them is currently on call. I'm sure it's network issues, and I'm sure they'll be rejoining us very soon.
Okay, so please, mentees, can you kindly all turn on your cameras, please? Let's talk quickly. Hello, mentees. If you can, please, can you turn on your camera? Let's talk quickly, please. Or if you're a mentee and you're on this call, signify with an emoji as quickly as possible. Let's know how many people we have here on the call, because I feel some mentees are not here. Joe, nice, we still have you here. Miracle is here. Where's Uju? Where's Oloma? Please, we need to confirm that you're all still on the call as quickly as possible. Mr. Dennis, please take let's show the attendance we have for today. To be certain of those who were in class today, because your complete attendance secures this. If you're not able to make your complete hours, it's not worth it then. And this program is really, really worth it. Okay, Oloma is here. Uju, we've lost Uju. Okay. So thank you. May turn off your cameras, please. Let's try to be very, very much involved in the process. So while Mr. Dennis would see how to get our mentor back, we'll just wait a few minutes for them to figure that out. Thank you so much.
God's love, Mr. Ebenezer is back with us.
Sorry, please. I was having a network challenge. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, sincere apologies for that. It's part of the challenge we have to grapple with as a nation until we get advanced and get these things fixed. Okay, today's topic: health, legal issues in emerging health technology. Great topic. Firstly, let me commend the group for their work, starting with the slides. There is a serious improvement from what we used to have. This is the best so far. I commend it, and I urge you to either maintain it or improve on it, but do not go below this standard. This goes not just to the group that presented. How many groups do we have this session?
So we're supposed to, we have 2 groups, but it seems one group is almost inactive, and I don't know why. We've tried.
No, they can't be inactive.
Severally, but
no, they cannot be inactive. How many people are in a group?
Currently for health tech, there are about 6 people on the group. 7 people on group 2.
Okay.
About,
health tech, how many candidates do we have in all in health tech? How many people do we have in health tech?
We have about 14 or 13 thereabouts.
No, active participants.
Active
those who have been attending my class.
Active participants, for those who have been attending rather, we've had thereabouts 8 or 9 of them that have been active, constantly active.
Okay, see what you will do. That's 8 or 9 people that have been attending. Divide them into 2. If there are 8, 9, put 5, 1, 4, 1. One is group 1, one is group 2. Then you alternate the class, the presentation. This week, group 1 will present. You saddle them with that responsibility to do the research, to prepare the slide, to nominate the presenter. That is solely the responsibility of group 1. So if they are having a main presenter, they will also have an alternate presenter in the event the main person is not around. In fact, since it's a research, all of them should have idea, so that we don't have a situation whereby we get to class and they say the presenter is a group work, so everybody must participate. The learning is not what we do here. What we do here is correction. The learning proper and improve on what we have done. The learning proper is doing. Those who are doing the research are the ones learning. So the same goes to the following week. Group 2 takes responsibility of the class, researching the topic, preparing the slide, presenting. That is how it should be done going forward, so that everybody will have opportunity to participate. And whoever presented for group 1 this time will not present again until it has gone around. Every participant must have at least one opportunity to make presentation. It is in that process that's why it is called a mentorship session. You learn by doing. Okay, having said that, I commend the slides, the people who designed it. It's okay. However, there are 2 omissions. We agreed last time. You stuck to 14. You could have just added 1, which is very key, your reference page. So everything you said here did not come from your head. You got them from a source. So when next you are making presentations like this, I'm talking to the presenters. When next you are making presentation, the sources of your material, every sentence you make here, the sources, the ones you got from which website, from which authority, what did WHO say about this, what did the UN say, you put them as your references, so that tomorrow you have opportunity to make presentation before in conferences. whether local or international, you will be doing it the correct way. It is all part of the learning. So we are talking about ethical issues, legal issues emerging from e-health. We already know what e-health is. And here, what governs the practice of medicine in Nigeria, there are a lot of documents. One of which, of course, is the Dental and Medical Practitioners Act. One is there. Then you have the National Health Act. Then within the doctor's circle, you now have their Code of Medical Ethics. Section 22 of that code talks about e-health, which we can refer to as telemedicine. And I will simply read the provision. It says, telemedicine, professional opportunity outcome of modern advanced computer and telecommunication technology is steadily creeping into professional practice in Nigeria.
Okay, we sincerely apologize. Mr. Ebenezer's network is quite bad, but I'm sure he'll be rejoining shortly. So please just
Yeah.
exercise a little patience, and I'm sure Ebenezer will be back with us. Sorry once again. We sincerely apologize for the network. Um, I don't know. Okay, Mr. Ebenezer is back with us. Thank you so much, sir, for rejoining.
He's
You're
back.
welcome.
Okay, sorry once again. Still, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can
Hello,
hear you,
Dennis. Confirm you can hear me. Can you? Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. I said it is medicine requested and practiced at a distance, and it is particularly useful for patient care and management by general practitioners and specialists in assessing tele-support in their daily practice.
Okay, I think there's a major network issue over with Mr. Ebenezer.
Practice on the basis of requests of requirements for special and dentistry. It is of ethical significantly assessed.
Okay, doctor, are you good now?
Hello? Hello, good. Seriously, and so sorry about that. I was just about opening my slides and I just went off. It just got caught. Really? Wow.
Sorry,
And I've been
I
trying
guess
to
the
reconnect.
network
Are you
is.
hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's
We
really.
can hear you.
I even tried to come on my mobile device. Hello, sir?
Hello, I'm here. We can hear you. Mr. Ebenezer, can you hear us, please? Hello, Mr. Ebenezer.
Yeah, somebody is talking right now.
From a distance.
Yeah, that's Mr. Ebenezer. I doubt he can hear us.
Before you prescribe, before you treat, you must have
I doubt he can hear us. Also have some issues with his network.
Examine that patient. Now, the challenge of telemedicine is that care professional the opportunity
Dennis,
to examine, physically examine the patient.
Muted.
The
Is he
healthcare
presenting?
professional depends
Yeah,
on
he's presenting
information
currently, I guess.
given to him by the
he's
patient.
actually doing having his
Okay, so
introduction,
that is
but
one.
if he cannot hear us, that means it must be a network problem.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hearing him though, but I guess he's not hearing us.
Exactly, I doubt he can hear us because if he could, he would have paused to know what's happening.
Absolutely. Wow.
It's really low network. But anyway, I think over
There are issues of confidentiality.
Mr. Dennis, are you there? Can you hear me?
Which one of issues?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm trying to reach out to Mr. Ebenezer.
Okay, please, because I believe he's having some issue with his network is affecting him hearing us. Okay, so I think we've lost him again. Okay, doctor, I think you can carry on from there, please. It's a slight better now.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mr. Kamal, all right? Thank you
Yes,
very
that's
much.
Kamal.
Okay, very good, very good. All righty. So thank you so much for having me again. This is my first time actually joining this group. And it's a great one. Having this mentorship sessions on Zoom here, it's amazing. Fortunately, we know we're talking about digital health and everything, and one of them is actually Zoom. And sometimes it could happen. In Nigeria, we're still trying to come up with the very best of, is it the broadband system and all of those things. So I guess that's the reason most of us are using our mobile devices, or so maybe some of us are connected to the broadband internet services. No worries, we're going there, we're going further. I just want to talk about in the medical aspect, the e-health, the more like the electronic health craze that has come up. It's not really currently, yeah, we're taking advantage. There's some level of accessibility that we have in Nigeria. We are taking advantage of especially the electronic health management system. the EMS, the hospital management system. We've not really gone into the AI like that. As I heard the first presenter was talking, one of the mentees, right? She focusing more of the AI programs and everything. We're coming there actually, but currently, you know, e-health generally, it's more like it's kind of encompasses a wide range of technologies, and these things can. Are you hearing me? Are you all still there?
Yes, we can hear you, Ma.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm just trying to bring it back to us where we are in Nigeria, right? We're just talking about e-health, electronic health, and all of those. It's huge. It's not just even the AI. Like it's a kind of a wide range of these technologies, right? We can leverage on what they call digital. These are digital tools, and all of the digital tools. The reason why we should even consider e-health, just
puts responsibility on the person handling data, people's data.
Okay, I think Mr. Ebenezer is
the Data
back.
Protection Act created an office called the Data.
Hello, Mr. Ebenezer, sir.
Data Protection Office.
Hello, sir.
Whose responsibility? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Your network has been very bad, so you've not been. Yes, we can hear you, sir.
I can't hear you.
Okay, sir, your network has been so bad. We've not been hearing you for a while. So our second mentor has been the one giving us. She started her presentation, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now. Like this, for a while, we weren't hearing you at all. So we gave the opportunity to the second mentor.
You were not hearing me at all. There had been network interruption. I've been shortening between my Glo internet and my MTN internet. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I have internet on both lines.
Sorry about that, sir. For like the last 10 minutes, we weren't hearing you. For like the last 10 minutes, we're not hearing you. So we gave up to our second mentor to speak.
So I said that telemedicine is the same thing as telemedicine from a distance, rendered through either telephone, voice, or video call now, but it is a medicine. The healthcare provider is in a different location, the patient is in a different location. Contrary to what we used to have, which is the healthcare provider and the patients are in the same location, being the hospital, which provides the healthcare, the medical professional, the opportunity to examine the patient physically. So one of the demerits of telemedicine is that the doctor or nurse does not have the opportunity or privilege of physical examination. Now, one of the cardinal rules of treatment or practice is that before you prescribe, before you treat, you have to examine, because it is from your examination that you deduce what's the problem, what the ailment could be. As you ask the patient question, the symptoms you are getting or the answers you are getting, then if the patient is physically present, you can examine either by touch or by giving instruction, do this, do this, do this. Then you get your guide as, okay, this could be the possible ailment. Then you can make your prescription. But that whole exercise is eroded when you are having telemedicine. Now, it adds so much burden on the healthcare service provider. That is where legal issues arise. Number one cardinal legal issue is data protection. While I was reading this provision of the Act is to show you the warning in the last paragraph of section 22 from Code of Medical Ethics, the warning on persons or practitioners who engage in telemedicine to be careful because of this challenge. He said practitioners must make appropriate arrangements for the security of personal information when it is stored, sent or received by fax, computer, email, or other electronic means. Information must be kept secure before connecting to the network. You should ensure that data sent cannot be intercepted or seen by anyone other than the intended recipients, practitioners should, however, be aware that information sent by email through the internet may be intercepted. So this is a serious challenge. One of the rights of a patient is informed consent, then privacy. So this touches more on confidential information. And I say that the Data Protection Act 2020 responsibility on anybody, any organization handling people's personal data. The Act created an office protection officer. So ordinarily, organizations that deal with data are data protection officer, whose responsibility is to ensure that people's data being handled with them in their organization are securely secured. That is one. Now, two, we have issue of hackers. So the healthcare provider who is venturing into telemedicine to ensure that his equipment or gadgets are hack-proof, that means he may need to engage the services of cyber security experts to do routine upgrade, routine check, and routine security checks or looking out for threats so that the information of patients are well secured. That is one, or not interrupt, because once a patient releases his information to you, if tomorrow the patient sees that information outside, knowing that you are the only person who gave such information via telemedicine or telemedical engagement, the patient has a right to sue. So that means that there is so much burden on the healthcare provider. That is one. Then when you talk about equipment use, you see, technology, there are devices now that you can tell the patient to get. The patient gets. And you are in your house, you are guiding the patient on how to use that equipment. You also need to be careful because you might incur liability from that direction you are giving. Our country has not advanced to that level, but abroad, they can sue you for anything. Here, we still have how do I put it? We are communal people. Somehow, the brotherly love, the unity, a lot of the religion, culture. We are not troublesome people per se. So we do not insist on our rights, on our rights, on our rights. What my action affects the next person. We are communal. But over there, they are individualistic. They care not about how whatever action they take affects you, provided it is within the boundaries of their rights, provided the person feels that his rights have been infringed upon. So equipment use is another challenge where ethical issues or legal issues might arise. So it is important that the healthcare provider, if you are not going to be the one physically to set up the equipment or the gadgets on the patient, ensure that the patient understands your instruction and your direction on how to use the equipment. You might say the company that produces the equipment, they have instruction manual. How many of you here read the instruction manual of your phone? When you bought it, you took time to sit down and read through the instruction manual of your phone before you started operating it. The answer is that none. You checked the pictures, you didn't read through all. All you wanted, okay, this is where you can turn it on. And that was all. As soon as you turn the phone on, that's our attitude basically to things here. We are not a needy population. If you bought a new television now, any other gadget, even your blender or your washing machine, any gadget you think about, that comes with manual. We don't take time to read it. We are so much in a hurry. So because the healthcare professional is the one giving the patient directive on how to use that equipment. He might incur liability if the patient, in the course of using the equipment, gets injured. Don't forget the patient bought the equipment. The patient bought the equipment. The patient is paying for the service of the healthcare provider, but the healthcare provider is the one providing expert guidance, expert knowledge and instruction. So that is where his duty of care comes in. Now, how should you escape this? The approach has been, once you are a telemedical practitioner, find around the vicinity where your patient is located. There must be a healthcare center facility. There should be a doctor in that facility. Connect so that you can do referral for physical examination, so that you can do referral for equipment use. Then, as time permits, you create time to see the patient physically. Either the patient comes to see you in your own facility or vice versa. So that is basically that for now. If there are questions, I will be more than glad to take those questions. As for regulation, law in Nigeria, regulating, strictly speaking, the Code of Medical Ethics being drawn from the can serve as a guide. That this is an area that needs proper legislation. It's come to stay. So we need proper, not just policies, because policies are not enforceable. Regulations are not enforceable. So we need an act of the National Assembly, the way your National Health Act is, and every other act or law that confers defined rights and obligations on users and how they should use, the way the Data Protection Act 2023 is, so that when there is a breach, there could be legal remedy for the victim of such rights violation. Thank you. So if there are questions, we can entertain them.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ebenezer. Before you came back on doing your network issues, while you were having network issue, our second mentor was able to join in, and she's still here with us. So we'll still just like to also hear from her on the discourse of today. Then after she has spoken and given her response, then we can have our question and answer session. So Miss Arita, please, ma, we still want to hear from you. We'll still love to listen to your own discourse on the subject matter for today. You're welcome back, ma.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Dennis, right? Really appreciate
Yes.
that. Yes. Thank you so much. So we just, just don't mind the whole technology stuff and everything that's happening with the Wi-Fi and all of those things. But that's what we're talking about. I was actually trying to address the things that actually pertain to us here in Nigeria as far as electronic health is concerned. I know there's so many facilities right now. We're yet to really have all those should I call it digitalized kind of services in terms of money, a digital device replacing the human physician in Nigeria. Like I know in the United States right now, you could go for surgeries that everything is just computerized and it's more like minimally invasive and almost as if they are working with the AI or the robots actually, and they carry out precise, like very, very precise surgeries, like minimal error actually. I don't, when I look at all those things, like the pros and looking at comparing the pros and cons of digital health, really in a wider scale, I think the pros are actually more than the cons because, for example, the banking system right now, they are definitely digital, they operate digitally and everything, despite the fact that you could still have all those issues, legal issues are like breach of privacy and all of those things. But yet, and it's because it's a very delicate institution, financial institution, just the same way as a medical institution, right? So, but how they're able to effectively carry out services and transactions on the digital platform, almost like with minimal losses or the disadvantages or all the challenges that could come up in a digital setting. I don't think it's even so far-fetched what the banking system institution as well. But like looking at the fact that this whole e-health stuff, because it's a wide range something, so it varies with the different aspects of it. In Nigeria, right now, we're like 90% of our health facilities are more prone to using the electronic, health device. Those, especially the ones that has to do with data inputs and all these hospital management systems and all of those things. So we're trying to reduce cost of, or even the inconsistencies of profiles here and there, like patients folder, keeping them in like paper files over the decades, and how someone kind of lose some of their quality and all of those things. So some vital information could actually be lost in a paper a paper saving system in the hospitals. But most of the digital platforms where you get to save all the patient documents and everything, they are like already in the clouds, and we hardly have issues with even not only accessing them, being able to transmit them to other healthcare professionals that we may be referring the patient to, for example, right? So this kind of administrative processes, like it helps us to kind of streamline things for us, even as professionals. I'm kind of I've had this experience, and I've had both experiences whereby we didn't have anything like the hospital management systems in place in the facility, and then another sector where everything was in place, right? So that's a plus. And then we're talking about the telemedicine aspect. We for current right now, I know there's many of us, the young medical practitioners, who are taking advantage of this telemedicine. So to an extent, we're able to reach out to so many people that may not be in our vicinity currently, and if it's not every 80% of the conditions that human beings have, like all these chronic conditions that they have, they are not, they are mostly things that could be effectively taken care of by consultation, like physical consultations and history taking and all of those things, because you can easily diagnose a condition from somebody, even like just from a digital platform. Like just the way we're communicating on Zoom right now, I can confidently see a patient that maybe has issues with back pain, neck pain, or abdominal pain. Just imagine, I'm going to have you, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. Once I'm audible, once you can see me, once you can understand what I'm speaking and what I'm saying, you can answer my questions from your response. I could deduce so many things from that. And then if I still want to, I know definitely the physical examinations.
Okay, it seems Miss Arita is not here. I think her network has logged her out. The network has been a menace today. I think even our moderator, Mr. Gottslov, also the network logged him out. He's trying to rejoin in. So I'm sure she will be joining us back in a few minutes. Please, I kindly ask for a little patience while she works on her network. And I also want our mentees. I think we're able to hear Mr. Ebenezer's discuss. So I want our mentees to just kindly begin to take down their questions.
While we
That,
wait for doctor to come back,
yes, sir.
Let me add that one of other challenges we might have with telemedicine is qualification of practitioners. Now, the fact that somebody is a medical doctor does not mean he's qualified to practice in every area of medicine. Yes, we have general practitioners, but there is specialized. Someone is specialized. Then in medicine, when we talk about to refer to people who are not medical doctors themselves as medical doctors, no, not just that. Has not paid his practicing fee for his license for that. Carries on to practice, the person will be referred to as a quack. Example, as a consultant, and the person gives himself out. He's a doctor, but he's not. Yeah, he's not certified. For example, a general practitioner may not or is not qualified to serve as a nephrologist. So if in providing telemedicine, he represents himself as a nephrologist, he's a quack. If he's a nephrologist and he now presents himself as a cardiologist, he's a quack. So these are challenges that we might face with telemedicine, that doctors who are not qualified in a particular area of medicine represent themselves as qualified to take up that role. So I just needed to add that. But on the whole, telemedicine provides faster service. It's medicine, medical care, even from a distance. So if you check, by the time you drive from your house to hospital, you can just put a phone call. All of us, I don't think two people on this platform are in the same location, but we're having a conversation. So even if in cases of emergency, you can first of all reach a doctor via the internet, then get direction, get first aid on what to do, even as much as how to carry the patient. Even when you are carrying a patient to hospital, there is a how, depending on the nature of the accidents or the nature of the ailments. You might think, okay, out of Z, let's just carry this person. The way you carry the patient is also important, that you might go and worsen the condition of that patient. So telemedicine has come to stay, but the government or the legislators need to provide us with concrete laws that can set the parameters of practice, the borders of practice, the do's and don'ts within that space. Is Dr. back?
She's not yet back with us, sir.
Okay, so while we still wait for her, if there are questions, we can take the questions.
All right, so please, questions while we wait for doctor to join back in. Please, we questions. I'm sure, moving from this very little that Mr. Ebenezer said, maybe a few questions that we may like to ask. So please go ahead and ask your questions. Me, I would like to firstly ask, considering that telemedicine, for instance, you made mention of for instance, diagnosis and stuff like that can be carried out through telemedicine. Is it not going to be restricted to just basic first aid treatment? Medicine, is it not going to be restricted to basic first aid treatments and diagnosis rather than more complex procedures,
No,
like where the patient have to be physically present?
no, you cannot restrict telemedicine to first aid and prescription. No, now let me also correct an impression. Telemedicine is more or beyond the patient-doctor relationship. It is about digitizing the healthcare system, including your records. So even when you go to hospitals now, you discover that they are using computers, they are filing your file is there's an e-copy of your file now. Ordinarily, if you go to hospital before, for 2-3 hours, they are still looking for your file because the doctor cannot make progress if they do not find your file. Hospital, just few click of buttons, punch of buttons on the, they get your file, they get the last treatment you had. That is the understanding, more of digitization of. But your question saying telemedicine to prescription and first aid, you are limiting technology. Do you know that there are, okay, it was the last set, I will look for that video, I promised you people last time, I'll look for that video. There are, in Ghana, drone is delivering medical packages. Drone, there's a company in Ghana that is using drone to, in Abuja, the company is in Abuja, you want something, maybe you want blood, readily available blood from here, or there's somebody in Gwagwalada that needs blood. Instead of waiting for the vehicle to is from National Hospital to Gwagwalada, a teaching hospital, a drone is sent from here. Now, India, I will also send the second video. One is long. India, in that video, the man was talking about the advancements India has made in medicine. And he said in a particular year, they had 2 million medical tourists. Why are people going to India? Technology. So if you are saying that telemedicine should be restricted to only prescription and first aid, I would rather say telemedicine, the Medical and Dental Council should set up, because they regulate Medical and Dental Council, the Federal Ministry of Education, the Hospital Management Board, and other relevant health, either a committee or another, actually regulates telemedicine, starting with listing out qualifications. Which cadre of doctors can subscribe to serve as or provide telemedical care? That is one. Two, you know that telemedicine, I can open up a telemedicine outfit now. If I set up my internet, it's online, right? So if I set up a digital platform, an online platform, and I get doctors to subscribe, I am not a medical doctor. I get a cardiologist to subscribe. I get a gynecologist to subscribe. I get a family medicine practitioner. I get a general practitioner. I get a surgeon. All of them subscribe to that platform. So if someone calls and says, I have, my wife is having an issue, a gynecological issue, I connect them to the gynecologist. That's basically what the platform is all about. So there should be regulation now that before anybody sets up a platform to run or operate telemedicine, the person should go through certain licensing. That's what the government should be doing. One. Two, for doctors to subscribe, they should ensure that the doctors are qualified. Their certificates, qualifications should be screened by either the committee or the agency set up to regulate that. so that it is not an all-comers affair. Then we can also have a database of certified medical practitioners in Nigeria, companies in Nigeria. So if you are telling me to come and subscribe, even as a doctor, if you are telling me come and subscribe to our platform and provide telemedical service, I will first of all check, is your platform under this database? Are you accredited to provide such service? So it might need to take, so that we have, instead of shrinking telemedicine, because it comes up an idea whose time has come. The only thing you can do is to grow with the idea. Either you grow, right? But technology has come to, technology is the future of it is now, is the present of the world. Have you seen AI farming? Have you seen AI conducting surgery? So that's where the world is going. Space. That's where we are going. So we should just prepare our mind towards that instead of limiting ourselves. Thank you. Is Dr. back?
Yes, thank you very much, sir. She's back with us, ma.
Okay,
you're
awesome.
Welcome back, ma. So please, ma, we still like to hear
I'm
from
back,
you.
sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Wow, that's so amazing. Barrister Ebenezer, lovely. Everything you said was just so true. You know, I was supposed to make a comment when you had talked the other time. I was just trying to make sure my internet was clear and all of those things. Thank you so much, sir. You're saying it because the truth is that the digital space is where we're heading towards, whether we realize it or not. Whether we, it's just is a pattern of progress, is a pattern of development and all of those things. And there are already blueprints set for us. Other countries of the world have already started implementing it on, fast speed already. You talked about even those precision, surgeries that you'll be shocked how it's even more effective than the human precision in terms of needling and in terms getting the particular, maybe all those tiny blood vessels, for example, those are those delicate surgeries that are trying to make sure you don't blood loss and all of those rates. But we know that they're also manned by humans. You understand? The brain behind everything is still coming from the beats and all of those things. So we can enter the airplane, for example. We're not so scared about the fact that the flight will give way because we've trusted the process for years. You understand? Yeah. Despite the fact that it could still really be fatal if things happen, but we cannot. The number of successful flights cannot be compared to the ones that were not successful. So in the health space, it's just the same thing. I try to use the banking sector just because I know it's a delicate sector as well. The issue of privacy and all those people's monies and all of those things. But yet they are very, very, they've come to the digital space like no man's business. They're even flying so high itself in Nigeria. So bringing us back to electronic health, I was talking about the administrative aspect, which I know that most hospitals in Nigeria are already taking advantage of the electronic information system where they input all patients' data, everything. It just prevents all those bureaucracies or the whole fatigue of trying to make sure every patient's documents are put in check and they're able to access them without saying a patient that was that visited your facility maybe like a couple of years back, something has happened to the file, or you can't get the access to the person's information anymore, and all of those logistics. It saves time as well. Just input everything that you have to put on the system. Now we're talking about telemedicine. The administrative aspect. I know we don't have. There's no hassle about it. When you talk about the legal implications, so talking about patients' privacy and all of those things, it's still the same privacy, should I call it the same protocol of keeping private patients' privacy in check, even when we're using paper files. It still applies to electronic processes, because I know that You can't just even carry a patient's folder and take it somewhere outside the hospital vicinity. You can't even discuss a patient's case with your fellow, maybe a friend or a colleague of yours, unless they're managing that patient together. You understand? So even those same legal processes that has to do with patient privacy, they are still very, very conversant. They are still very, very legit in the digital aspects of saving of patients' data. But now we're talking of the telemedicine, as you said, Barrister Ebenezer, when we're talking of this aspect of not being able to access a human being physically because the person is not in proxy. The advantages of that are actually much more than the disadvantages, because all the people that have, the issues, the conditions that people have, they supersede the number of the health professionals that are available. Now, you may be here in a particular location and you need to address an emergency, somebody that is maybe somebody in another vicinity, maybe in an obscure area that you can't even, manly speaking, the person cannot be with you or you cannot be there. Even to cut cost of people traveling to a particular region just to meet a particular physician, the digital space helps to minimize cost, and then you're able to also access more patients in knowing fully well that most of the health conditions, I keep on saying that if you want to take data of the conditions that people really go through in life, there are things that you can actually access if the digital space is well managed. There are more of all those chronic conditions than the emergencies. Actually, even a digital process of informing a patient about a particular thing could save a life. I've seen people that were totally, maybe in the middle of the night, they didn't know what to do. They only had a phone call of their, maybe a family physician, and they put the phone across and they say, see what is happening to my wife, or see what happened to my husband, see what is happening to my child, what can I do? And just that one, that information that was sent online saved the life before the person was able to, finally bring the patient to the hospital. That singular information, being able to easily access your phone, just like in the United States, where you say 911, when there's an emergency or something, you call the emergency department. When there's a case, maybe there's an armed robbery attack in the house, or a child is even dying or somebody, and then you see those videos where somebody gets to call the 911 and then they're able to interrogate and help the matters, and even make it easier for the rescue team to come and rescue whoever is involved, right? That's exactly what the digital space can do. That's what the electronic health system can actually help. It could save more lives than the damage. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if a call was put across and somebody is actually maybe the person is breathless, for example, and you cannot, before you start rushing the person to the hospital, just one little thing that you'd have just checked. So maybe the person is struggling for breath, gas, or just could be all those little emergencies. Call a physician, or you could just get a notification and then somebody listens, give this person something under the tongue, or check the person's bag, if there's any inhaler there, put it on the person's nose, or make the person sit upright. Don't turn the person like, or don't touch this person. So all of these things, they're all advantages, and the people are already doing it all over the world. So I feel that telemedicine on its own, it's so important. It helps in our health delivery system. It's even more effective. What I mean is more effective in the sense that you have access to as many patients as you want without so much hassle and stress on the physician, and then also on the patients as well. The whole bureaucracies of going to the hospitals and queuing up and all of those things could just be, in a jiffy, things could just be addressed, especially when they don't have to do with things that you really need to be there. I mean, there are some situations whereby you definitely need to be hands-on, but most of the issues that I was trying to say, right, all the consultational issues, even all chronic conditions, they're actually things that you can do, oral assessments for, visual assessments for, and then you cannot even refer the person to a physical facility that is wherever the person is located, right? I have many instances. The young medical professionals, we belong to so many forums online where we are all registered as practitioners, and then people get notification that, okay, somebody wants to see you and all of those things. And then you can actually access the person if it shows on your, It gives you a signal that, okay, there's a client right now. There are even some cases that you can address even in your own timing, and the person in his own time, he can get the information. So most cases that are not like hands-on emergent, they can be addressed with the help of electronic devices. So we're even talking about our wristwatches now, all those mobile health issues, things that we can just say, if you know that you're already a hypertensive patient, or you're a diabetic patient, and you have like regulators, special devices, you're wearing them to check you. And if do you know that so many lives have been saved outside this country in the Western world because of these devices? It just keeps them in check. It preps them up. It prevents when the thing now becomes really an emergency. So it gives you a signal, okay, you're approaching them. Maybe a client is there on the treadmill now, doesn't know that his glucose is just spiking up, maybe due to stress that he didn't even realize that his body was having. The signals are coming up, and then he's now in a state. He may not realize that, okay, these are the issues that have been on my mind since I'm coming to the gym, and it's more like aggravating issues. But the thing starts to tick, pam, 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 pam. Immediately he relaxes, he sits down, he gets out of it. Some of these devices, they won't speak to you, so they give you instructions. Okay, you sit down, take your breath, take a deep breath in, and all of those things. I don't need to come into all the procedures or the protocols. The fact is that the electronic health rate, this rate that we've come to right now is actually more of the positives than I see the negative. But I feel the normal regulatory aspects that has to do with other institutions in any country should definitely come to play in the medical sector, in the health sector, in terms of even digitalization of our health services. It's normal. There's no system that works without regulation. There's no system that works successfully without, here's the legal regulation. So the regulation is not so far-fetched because it has already worked successfully in other areas that are as well sensitive, right? So basically, it's something that I'm saying that we should step up even in Nigeria. If there are other things that are holding us back, maybe in terms of the legal aspect, it's not something that is the legal aspect supposed to be that difficult to attain, right? And then most of our most of our healthcare practitioners that are Nigerians, and they are not necessarily practicing in Nigeria. They just had to just take some few courses, and they're doing exceptionally well outside the country, and they're even better off than even some of the main indigenes of those countries. So we in Nigeria, for example, it's you just take some few courses just to upgrade yourself in case you're not internet savvy and everything. It took a while for the hospitals, for example, to be able to understand filing and data, processing and all of those things, putting patients' information on the system. So the same thing, once people are trained in it and they go through the ethics of it, they take the oaths of, patient privacies and all of those things. Of course, there could be some bugs that could come up in the internet, like every other system, that, okay, something just comes and looks as if you've lost all the information. But because we know before time, so all the technicians, all the computer engineers that are working with the digital health space, they already know how to back up the systems in such a way that information, no matter what the hack that happens, it's not be that drastic. It will not be that, should I call it, detrimental to the patients and also the practitioner. So we have things like cloud savings and all of those things. So all the experts that are involved in creating all these models, all they need to just to bring out everything that needs to be done, and the health practitioners are ready to follow through. Because see, the code of ethics is not something that we take it because we know that we're not being physically monitored, then we will not be able to follow the due processes anymore. You understand? So all the fears or all the legal aspects that needs to be put to place, it can be put to place as well in the medical sector and digital health space. So basically, I was trying to say the advantages were more than to me, I felt even right now, the way Nigeria is, we can even start immediately right now, just because we are short of enough health practitioners or, health facilities, especially in rural settings. It may take a while for the rural people to be able to be conversant with the digital technologies and everything, but there are things that can actually be trained to them, and they don't need to go through over, should I call it, highfalutin digital skills. They could just use their regular mobile devices that are like, maybe even if it's in form of those little Android phone. I see people that we already have technologies that people can even access without having a Wi-Fi system, more like an analog system, and they're able to still have access to the regular code. Maybe you dial star. If you have to do a banking system, for example, now you do the maybe if it's a star 123 star something, and it goes. So there are some technologies like that in the digital space that you can, even the rural people can take advantage of those mobile devices that they don't necessarily have to need to be so internet savvy or technology savvy for you to be able to access, to take advantage of the e-space. You understand? So basically, all I want to just say, I don't know whether there's a specific concern in terms of the significance of the e-health system, because I am actually of the opinion, I was so passionate about the topic because I just feel that it is time actually. If we are talking about improved access to all these healthcare services and all of those things, it's only e-health that could give you that one, the improved access. Talk about access. The way one can just get 1 million views in a minute because you're in the digital space. Unlike if you were trying to get on a physical facility, if you're trying to get your word out to 10 people or 20 people, it will need them to physically come to your facility. But when you're just giving a health talk on the digital space, you can actually take over a whole community at once at the same time, and people can even access you in a jiffy. Everybody has gotten your information. So just imagine what happens when you are dissipating, healthy or important information that has to do people's health, or emergent situation whereby they have no clue of what's happening, and that information could save their lives. You understand? So that accessibility is very important. Even the efficiency, I was talking about precision based surgeries, that they're almost like robots per se, but it's so programmed in such a way that if you were to say 100% success rate, that's only the place that you can get it. The human, the just, something could just come up in that moment, right? So even if, yes, the hands-on experience cannot be, nothing can really, you can't really compare in terms of if the one-on-one interaction with the patient, and then you'll be able to palpate and feel and all of those things. It's still very important. But because of the fact that you can't save the world, the digital space makes it to save more people than not using the digital space. So I can easily refer somebody to now, based on what the person has told me during interrogation, during the consultation services, I'm able to now refer you to a local, more like even properly refer you to the right physician or the right place to meet in your own vicinity, so that they can have the hands-on evaluation for you or the physical examination. That's great. Like, seriously. So the efficiency is also, I think it's really like, it's very, very, is optimum in terms of administrative processes, the paperwork, those kind of paper, we talked about paperwork, the stress of all those paperwork stuff, all these errors that come about the paperwork over time, right? So that it goes a long way minimizing it. So, and then we're talking about this patient care. When I'm talking about better patient care, I'm looking at the numbers compared to what is the norm for us of seeing a patient physically. Because even most of the physical examinations right now, the meaning that the physical examination, you can actually instruct somebody to carry out some physical activities online. And then you are seeing the person's response, you see the person's reactions. You can say, okay, yes, this is a positive sign. This is what I'm looking out for. Okay, do this one, do this one. You understand? So even the little ones that you may not be able to do, like maybe to feel, for example, you're trying to feel an area of pain, or you're trying to feel an area of lump or swelling and all of those things. The investigatory process will still go on after all. You could say, okay, go do the particular scan on based on, the questions that you've asked the person, and based on the person's responses, and even other physical activities that the person can do. So it may be a part physical examination you can actually carry out, via telemedicine. So, okay, do this particular thing, and then you're able to now infer from that, okay, I suspect this. You can even tell the person, press on this part of your abdomen, press on this part. What is that painful or whatever? You see the person's reaction. I'm telling you, it's more effective in terms of numbers. So even now, we're talking about the economy, right? Financial issues. The cost effectiveness of e-medicine is even less expensive than people trying to physically assess a physician, because the price are not going to be the same as if you were to meet one-on-one physically with the physician than somebody that is actually meeting you like on a digital space. I don't know how the price ratings are in like maybe some other countries and everything, but I know in Nigeria for now, it's not the same thing as if I'm supposed to come to my office, come to the clinic and see so many patients. Patients will pay based on the standardized payments. But if the person is meeting on the digital space, you are seeing the numbers and everything. So it's even less effective, and you give a lot of free services, free conversational service on the digital spaces, and you can help them a lot rather than
Hello, ma. Are you still with us? Okay, it seems her network has logged her out. Sorry about that. Own my own network has logged me out. So I'm trying to use the same device to make sure that the class.
Hello, you hearing me?
Yes, no, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, doctor.
Hello?
I can. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello? You can hear me now, right? Okay, awesome. So basically, okay, all right. Thank you so much. Let me come on my video just a second. Okay. Okay, perfect. So basically, I'm actually advocating like
My network has disconnected again. So okay, she's back. Sorry, ma. It seems your network is pretty bad. Hello, ma. Can you hear us?
now? Oh, perfect. I'm hearing you now. Sorry, this internet keeps on. Hello? Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect, perfect. All right, all right. Thank you so much. So I guess what I'm trying to say, sorry about the internet. I don't know if it's from my own end or the other side, but I'm passionate about this whole revolution, actually, the e-health space, just because we already started practicing, but I know that we have a long way to go. But I know that the things that are impeding it from progressing, they need not be. They need not be. We need to speed up the whole process. Any legal, whatever it is that needs to be put in place in the legal aspect can just be brought to the table as ASAP right now. We medical practitioners are ready to follow through because, as I said, we've already been following through some legal procedures, even functioning on a regular, regular orthodox practice, like the way we are, be sure that our patients' privacies are kept, and be sure, even the fact that the fears, the challenges that we are facing, that we're looking at in terms of the e-health space, is more of data privacies and all of those things. Those are the least concern for us as practitioners, because those are the things that formed our ethical standing as practitioners. So if we're talking about hackers, it's a different thing. And that's why I was trying to compare our practice to the financial institution, because they also they face the challenge of possibility of hacking as well. But we know that in the long run, they're actually very, 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 very efficient, and they're very successful in their transactions and everything that they do. Of course, we see here and there people complaining of this form of hacking and the other, but they're able to seamlessly, take over, do whatever it is that they have to do more efficiently, because they are using, they are riding on the digital platform, they're riding on that space. So whatever the challenges is that have to do with in terms of privacy and all those issues that we're looking, more like in view for the digital space, taking to fully materialize in Nigeria, it's not really an issue. So we should follow those legal processes as well as any other institution, and as well as even our regular practice, our mandate practice, right? So I'll just kind of give the example now. You see in Nigeria, the things that are happening, the economic issues, the digital help will save a lot of people from unnecessary expenses. We educate the patients more. Like, for example, now, let's know where you are on a digital platform. You're not trying to say, okay, let me quickly see the next patient. You understand? You take your time and offer a holistic view for every patient, and you give them, you counsel them, you give them preventive measures, things that they wouldn't have gotten in a regular facility or regular, station, because it's not really the fault of, at that point, it's the fault of the hospitals. Maybe they have so much of ground and less, less manpower, or less. So now you're sent to your patients, you're able to give them advisory information, things that will prevent them from even having those same issues over and over again. So we talk about preventive health here. And naturally, when we're talking on a digital space, it's almost like a law, or it's almost like a natural instinct that comes with practitioners. You get to, have a kind of one-on-one relationship with the patient. You're seeing the patient as your client, you're seeing the patient as a human being as well. It's not just this distant kind of a thing. And then you're able to help the person, and you are free. You are also able to, apart from giving them preventive, health information, you're also able to listen to them very attentively, to get to know their own weaknesses or their fears, or whatever it is, the challenges. So the patient actually gets more personalized. For me, it's like an irony. You may feel that coming into the hospital, sitting one-on-one with the patient, to give them that personalized feel, more personalized feel. But we get that more in the digital space. Seriously, maybe because everybody's relaxed, and then you're not trying to meet up to some certain time frames and all of those things. You could be in the comfort of your home, or even in the comfort of your office, but you're not saying you have to, get up, see the next patient and all of, because everybody has timings and all of those things. So they get more like improved preventive, healthcare information for the patients. It helps them a lot. It's cost effective for them. definitely. Why I say it's cost effective, because you definitely we don't charge you with all those other logistics, maybe talking about lighting, because there are other things that make your fees expensive in irregular hospitals. They charge you for staffs and all of those things. So, and then maybe you're using light or all those different things. This one you're sharing the costs per se, because you're having the freedom to do what you have to do. Sometimes you may require this is telemedicine now, because there are also so many other modalities. Even the informational aspect, the administrative aspect of the e-medicine, in the long run, it saves cost as well. Rather than buying materials, buying paperwork and everything, every time you have to spend expenses on folders and printing machines and all of those things. Everything is online. You just put all the patient's data, everything. If the patient needs to print it out in wherever they are located, they just go print it and submit it to any other. If you are referring the patient, for example, the patient is going to more specialized care, for example, or you are co-managing the patient, for example, the patient had to travel to maybe another country and he's seen another physician and they need to access the patient's records. It's so easy, the person, you give the person access to the patient's information, that's a particular physician, and then they just print it over from where they are. So you don't need to start buying all these logistics. So definitely financially it helps a lot. You understand? So, and then health information is transmitted, seamlessly. We're trying to encourage them, patients, and most times preventive care actually saves a lot in the long run. Rather than just trying to, take care of emergencies and casualties, they are now more informed to even take care of themselves after they've left your meeting, your online forum. So basically, it's better. Then when you talk about other processes like delivery, the logistics that has to happen when you're in the hospital now. I think I've already talked about that. All those logistics, the processes of trying to coordinate this one over there, between one facility to the other. Okay, this person go to the pharmacy. Okay, go to the lab. Go to this one and all of those things. It cuts it off, whether you like it or not. It's kind of streamlines the processes. You're basically the patient. The patient is not competing with another patient to have access to those facilities, because you are basically really doing everything within the space, within the digital space. You could either be the person managing the whole different sectors, or you're giving the person all the information that the person needs, and then the patient goes ahead in his own comfort zone, in his own location, and goes to the different departments on their own. So maybe what you may not understand what I'm trying to say. When you're at the regular hospital, the things that actually waste people's time is going to, they have a room for the filing, you have the room for payments, you have this for the investigations, you have this for the getting of the medications and all of those things. It's not because those processes are not necessary, but because of the fact that you are sharing the space with other patients. So everything becomes cumbersome and time consuming. So the time that you'll be waiting in the queue, for example, these things are cut off by digital space, because they are your own. You just know what you're supposed to do, and then you go back to your own facility, or you go back to your own store, health store, to get whatever it is that you need to get. Even your diagnostic centers, you just go there. You've already been given the instruction, and you're not competing with somebody, because the patients are in different locations. So every location has their own places where they can now go and make those deliveries done, right? So basically, even in terms of all these public health awareness things that people do, I was talking about all those disease outbreaks that we see, that people tend to go in communities. Okay, let's go to this. We used to do a lot of medical outreaches. Okay, let's go to this local community and let's go talk about this malaria outbreak, or this COVID issue here and there, or the issues with breast cancers and all of those things. All those human physical activities could be solved in a jiffy with the system, with the e-platform, and everybody can really even gather in their different locations, and you're able to transmit information in the same time frame, and you're reaching different local government areas. For example, you are reaching, you don't need to say, okay, once we're done from this state, we're now moving to this other state and all of those things. So all those issues of saying, okay, you want to cover up disease outbreak here and there, you take charge of digital space to bring everything seamless. It makes it more efficient. So I want to start comping more on all these issues, but I already know that the future for e-health is just fantastic. And even the fears they're not too far-fetched. We can deal with it. It's not so, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's not something that is going to be something that we should be scared about, to say, oh, how will it come about? Or I hope my information is not going to be leaking out to the public to see and everything. Those are never. Those things can be covered off once we are working with real officials. Make sure that the practitioners, another important thing is that to be sure that these practitioners are, they've been approved. They are really registered. For you to know the platform that you are registering, you see the digital space now. Somebody could just wear a white coat and say, okay, I'm a doctor or something like that. So I think those regulations will be put in check. For you to have a digital platform, a digital clinic, for example, you must have passed through all the regulatory laws that comes to place, the same as the physical facilities, opening a physical health facility, for example, so that people don't fall prey to more like fraudsters, or people that are, it could just be, it happen in any space. Actually, just like saying somebody that says that he's a medical doctor, but he's not really a medical doctor, and but you don't know, you can't tell, because you just saw an online portal that said this is a clinic, and then you just connect and start asking questions, and they start requesting for payments and all of those things. So I believe that all of those things can be taken care of. So all these challenges, what I'm saying, that those are the same challenges that other institutions face, that they've already overcome, or they at least mostly they've overcome up to like a considerable amount of in percentages. Like you can't talk about the banking sector and you are afraid to keep your money in the bank because you're afraid that somebody will hack into your account, for example, right? You can't say you're afraid to take a flight because it is controlled digitally. Even if, yeah, you're like, okay, what if the network, if the signal stops, or if the system, whatever, all of these things. Even we're talking on phone, for example, now, as I'm communicating with you, we're achieving much more than if we were to say, okay, we're to plan to gather in a place, and imagine all the logistics. Despite the fact we're having some hitches here and there, you understand? So we could still be in a physical venue and we still have some other hitches too. But the advantages are much more, and they are more life-saving than life, destroying. So basically, I think instead of me to keep on talking, I think it's better for me to open the floor for questions. So I'll answer specific questions that relates to e-health, right?
Yes,
Do you think
ma'am.
that's better, a moderator, right?
Yes, ma'am. That will be fine, ma'am. We'll be going into our question
Absolutely.
segments just right about now. So for those who are still here with us on class that have been able to stay through, right, we want to ask if there are questions so that we can take questions and just get more feedbacks from our mentors as regards this particular topic. But before we even have our mentees ask question, I would like to ask a question myself. Mark, we already have a little systems here and there that's already rising in terms of the telemedicine and that's and just general ill health. Please, Ma, what are the major? What do you think, from your own perspective, are the major?
And please say that again. Sorry. Are the major what? Sorry. Are the major what? Sorry, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
I can't hear the question. I can't hear the speaker.
Yes, I can't hear. He was saying something
hear
major.
You, but I can't hear the person asking question.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. I can't hear him as well. He was saying something about major. So what are the major something? I didn't get that.
Major obstacles. The major obstacles.
Okay.
Stopping us from leveling up. We already have some primary, just here and there. We have e-health facilities, a little, some bits of them in and around Nigeria currently that are working. Our watches, our mobile watches, and some other services that telemedicine are already providing us. But what are some of the obstacles that are stopping us as a country from leveling up to the standards that other countries in the more Western worlds have now reached, where they now have things like artificial intelligence, surgeries, and the rest?
Absolutely.
What are some of those obstacles that are currently stopping us in Nigeria?
Thank you so much. That's a brilliant question. You understand? Because that's really my passion. You understand? I'm just like, why are we even delaying? What's the issue? Why can't we just, get this thing running? You understand? So I believe one of them is, should I call it digital disparity? Now we're still talking in Nigeria now, we're still trying to get correct internet that is what unlimited access to internet services. I don't mean our mobile devices, or these ones we are using, or some of these I think there's some broadband services anyway, they are just scattered around the place. But there's this kind of as if we have access to technology, like we are very active in other aspects when we talk about social media and all of those things. But in Nigeria is still, there's still kind of this digital divide that is still, currently in place. Apart from the legal aspect, I won't talk about the legal aspect, but I know that I feel that legally, all these things, all our privacy issues and all of those things, that's never a problem at all. Once the legal activity, all the legal processes are put in place, we don't have any choice but to follow. You just follow the regulatory bodies and everything. Make sure that we follow what has been said for us, as practitioners. And then maybe the technicians or those that are into creating of these digital processes. Most times we even need to, we're already importing it. I know right now, it's just unfortunate we have brilliant minds already in Nigeria that actually come together and also create this, technological gadgets and all these programs and all of those who are brilliant. But I'm even saying at this point, we can even import what is already happening, what is already available in another part of the world to the country. But now, I actually wanted to talk about which I believe that the legal aspect should problem right now, seriously. So I think I'll leave that the legal aspect for Barrister Ebenezer to say, okay, what is holding us from implementing all those things to make sure that everybody's regulated and health practitioners are regulated, facilities are regulated, and all whatnot, right? So I talk about this digital divide because the country seems not to, should I call it, this technology, access to internet services are still limited currently, which I don't know why a private facility or a private entity cannot even just come to the country right now and take charge of that, because in a private space, it's going to be a huge profit for whoever starts that system, whereby everybody just you get to register in your data for a month. Just the way you subscribe to your DSTV, it's a month subscription for real. And it doesn't matter how many stations you watch or how many you don't watch, you have access to that program up till the end of the month. So that's what we really need, the real unlimited digital network provider, like data providing services, like internet services, that will be genuinely unlimited and broadband and be easily accessible to everybody. You don't have to, kind of break your bank account because you want to have access to this monthly stuff, right? So that even the people in the, like in the other communities, in the grassroots community, in the village, in rural areas, they'll still have access to it. In fact, their own should even be subsidized. Other countries even have free access to all these things. Like maybe you go to public spaces, they'll say this is free Wi-Fi and everything like that. So I think that's number vulnerable populations. Don't be able to have access, because we are keen on reaching those people even much more than even the people that already like have access to healthcare already, right now. We are thinking of those people that are just dying unnecessarily in the interior places because of one mistake like that. They don't know that, just things happen. People are just dying unnecessarily. They'll say, okay, these are the cultures, and if somebody is putting spoon inside your mouth, or give them sand or give them salt, so all of these things I call them barbaric, but because there are no regulatory things in check. So people are losing their lives in those interior places, and because they don't really have access to, prompt, health delivery services. So they should actually be the ones, first people to benefit from this kind of digital health system. If the government or if anybody can subsidize the access to the internet for them, or the access to digital devices, like just simple mobile devices, and then the whole logistics that is involved with them assessing this digital health. So that one is the reason, that's the number one thing, because the people that are already assessing it now already, they're just using their regular data stuff, right? They're using their regular mobile and they're able to afford it, and they're using their regular. So that's number one thing. Then the Nigeria, for example, is not regulated, so nobody is really sure. You can't right now. You see, like even the if you go on social media right now, a lot of people are giving more like health advice on what to take and what not to take. It's okay if you drink this particular drink, or take this route, or if you take these plants, it will take care of everything that you have to have with diabetes, or you have to do high blood pressure, or this and that. And because the internet is not regulated in that way, people are doing anything that they like. It's not saying all of them are wrong. Some of them may be saying the fact, they may be saying true stuff, but it needs to be regulated so that people, because you are dealing with people's lives now. Once somebody dies, you can't bring the person back to life because of your mistake, because you are going to tell somebody that maybe the person is even allergic to a particular plant. You have not done the proper consultational process, things that you would have asked during your initial consultation, that you'll be able to say, okay, yes, this person has this history of allergy to this particular drug or this plant or something like this. Okay, go and do this testing to check to see if you're allergic to this or that, because I'm going to be giving you some certain things like that. Which you find all of those things in the consultational space, your initial consultation with the clients. But if it's not regulated, people could just come and give a generic information to different individuals with different morphologies or different systems, right? So though I think that's another huge stuff, the regulatory issue. That's why I said that the legal system, they don't have any reason to delay self. Anything that needs to be done, they should just put it in place and we'll just follow through. Right? In outside the country, there are special bodies like that. They call them more like HIPAA, like health regulatory and insurance kind of policy. They follow it to the letter. They can't mess with it, right? And so that's why I said that it is very possible. If we put those things in place, it will help us as well, so that people will not fall victims to the that are not professionals. So that regulatory aspect is very important. Then in Nigeria, though, I know that we don't really have issues. No, yeah, I think another aspect is, I talked about it before. How do you regulate who is talking to you? You also be sure that this person, he's actually registered with the Medical and Dental Council, or even or that particular year's credentials. Everything is still up to date. You understand? Everything in digital space is very difficult, because somebody can actually appear with the new. I heard now that somebody can be here and you having the facial expression of somebody else. You're not. It's not really who you are that is shown on the internet. So I could be here and you're not seeing this. This may not be my real face. That's what I'm trying to say. So I can't, even if I want to put take legal actions against you, I may not be able to find you because you are cloned. You understand? So I think basically, if the legal things are put in place, the intelligence and all of those things, there's no way that this program will not fly. But even before that, I don't believe that 80% of the pros for starting off can be taken care of. There's not so much danger. I don't think people are that evil to harm people at this point. I mean, we can even start right now, even while the legal processes are going on and the regulatory systems. Or what we need to do is to make sure that every platform that is hosting medical practitioners to be able to give telemedicine, for example, or to offer that medical services, must be scrutinized, must be make sure they pass through all the relevant regulatory systems. You understand? So the site must be checked and be sure that every practitioner in there is legit and the person is registered up to date to the end of that particular year that the person is practicing. So if we go through that process for now, we'll still go a long way and impact a lot of people's health, even before we start diving into the deep intelligence that has to do with the AI world and how people can be fraudsters. I'm just trying to say how in the banking sector now you can see people like say Yahoo people now, they could defraud you of your money, but that does not stop the banking system from operating and helping people to save their monies or whatever it is that people need the banking systems for, right? So the banking system is still going, for eyes and everything. So in the same, and just make sure the preliminary regulatory stuff that needs to be put in place, we are good to go, right? So that's why I feel that's the reason why the major thing is actually this disparity that has to do this digital stuff that most people don't have access to. The people that really want to reach out to the more like this franchised or the rural communities and all of those things, all those places, they may not be able to have access to constant internet facility. They don't even have money to start loading their phones and all those things. But there's a program, there are innovative apps that people can even get right now. That it doesn't have to be a digital, doesn't have to be an online platform per se. It can be offline and still on a digital platform. I don't know, I got them. I can call you on phone right now without using my internet. I just make a mobile, just a credit. I call you and then you answer. And we can even do more like I feel the tech people are available. If we make the awareness, they can go to work. We put them to work and they start working in a way that they can create something for us, or we just implement what is already attainable. But we can't really implement because other countries don't have issues with the internet, so that they're really using the internet as they like. So I think that's the major thing, apart from the legal aspects and all of those things, right? I don't know that barrister. I don't know whether barrister Mebeza will say something on that. What is holding us back in Nigeria from really starting up?
Yes, you have captured a lot in answer to the question. I was raising my hand to make contribution in this regard, so I just waited for you to conclude. Okay, the question: what is inhibiting us from embracing this technological stride? Right? There are a lot of factors. Nigeria is not ripe to do what is being done globally. We do not have the technological infrastructure. Why do I say so? How many of us can remember what happened nationwide 2-3 weeks ago when it was rumored that a particular wire was cut somewhere? One wire, network, fiber optic wire somewhere around the Atlantic or which ocean, that affected. Ghana is still trying to recover from the impact of what we don't know, whether it is a shark or saboteurs or people went to cut that wire. And look at the impact it had on our phone call, on our bank transactions. Nigeria is not technologically ripe. Power challenge. How much electricity do you have? If we are running AI-powered hospitals now, is it sustainable cost-wise? How much is diesel per liter? You must have 24 hours uninterrupted power supply to achieve that. So we have not gotten to that place. We will be improving gradually, but to do it at a national scale, at a government scale, we might be having trickles here and there from private practitioners who are investing millions of naira, if not dollars, because for them it is a business venture and it is heavy-duty investments, because they know in the long run they will recoup. Another challenge is the illiteracy level of our people. We have a lot of superstition here. Can you all remember what happened during lockdown when they muted the idea of 5G network? And other people say it is 666, it is sign of the end of the world. So there is still a lot of superstition in our people. Somebody will tell you, how can he come and surrender himself to robot, to machine, to come and be operating on him or her? They will tell you the fact that the way the machine is operating, the machine is imputing some code inside your body. Somebody will just cook up one story and people will buy it, surprisingly. So that is another challenge. Even our healthcare practitioners, those in the government sector, how are they ready to embrace technology? We are still far beyond this phone call, yeah, which is a necessity, send text message and WhatsApp. A lot of Nigerians are not computer literate. So we do not even have the trained manpower. One might argue, okay, is it not when we put the program on ground, then we can be talking about training the manpower. Then we have issue of corruption. People prefer the analog state of affairs because somehow it puts money in their pockets than digital, where you can sit in your house and get things done via the internet, which even makes all the earnings, all the monies to go direct into designated government accounts. Then one of the major issues that is preventing us from having this is what I call professional indolence. Now, apologies to you, doctor. By that I mean there has not been concerted efforts, concerted push from Medical and Dental Council, from even nursing and midwifery, from other bodies to say, okay, Nigeria is ripe, can we scale up? Let them even start by structuring. In your absence earlier, doctor, I mentioned issue of having a database. When we talk about regulation of telemedicine, can we have a database? All the telemedicine, all the companies that want to provide that service, can we have a way of accrediting them? Even the doctors who are providing those services, can we have a way of certifying or licensing or checking their qualification such that with a click, if you want to know whether this, okay, for us lawyers now, for the past 4 or 5 years, you can actually, we know the number of lawyers in Nigeria. You can actually check whether this person you are dealing with is a lawyer or not. You just to go to the lawyer's website, there's a column, find a lawyer. All you need to do is to type the name of the person that has been parading himself as a lawyer. His name will appear. Every lawyer in Nigeria has an enrollment number. I have my number. So no two numbers are the same. If you just click, the person's name will appear, his enrollment number will appear. If the person has created his personal profile on the website, his personal portal will come out. You will confirm this person is a lawyer. So there is need to do that. That's what I mean by professional indolence, that the healthcare professionals have not come together jointly to push for this, to say, this is the global standard now. This is what is obtainable. Can we scale up to this? Now, it is going to take a lot of legislative intervention. That is where the legal aspect comes in, which is lawmaking. There is also relative ignorance of our lawmakers. Now, by that I mean, how many of them are professionals in this regard who are not career politicians? There are just a few of them. So if you bring this topic up, what we'll be talking about is more how this thing is going to put money in my pockets. That is it. Then lack of enthusiasm in our people to embrace technology. So these are all inhibiting factors, but they are not insurmountable. It can be conquered. For me, it takes only one thing: governmental willpower. If the Minister of Health comes up with a proposal or a memo to the president to say, Mr. President, sir, this is where the world is going in terms of healthcare provision. Nigeria, okay, let us even start with our health budget. Are you aware that the AU, they are 2000 or 2001 Abuja Accord stated that the minimum budgetary allocation for health of every country should be 15%, meaning that 15% of your annual budget should be a minimum 15% of your annual budget should be allocated to health. Since then till today, I can tell you that we have not complied with this. Even though some states this year, I deliberately checked what Abia states allocated to health in their budgets for two reasons. Number one is that I am from Abia State. Number two is that the governor has been doing well. So I just decided, is this man just acting? Is this just acting, okay, anything that drops into his head, or that he is following a laid-down principle? So when Abia State released its budget, I went to check the budgetary allocation. I discovered Abia State allocated 15% to health, 20% to education. Now that looks serious. That's a state that is pointing hands somewhere to say, yeah, we are not there yet, but we need to invest minimum this percentage so that we can achieve our goal in this area. So if that could be replicated at the federal level, that we can have 15% minimum to health, then you know we are serious. For now, we are far behind. The only thing that will make Nigeria comply is when we begin to have multiplication of private-owned hospitals scaling up to this level. It will challenge the government to also do. I am aware that our tertiary health facilities, they are trying when it comes to a couple of ailments, for example, cancer prevention or cancer treatment. The government is doing a lot in that regard when it comes to that. Maybe because na big man sickness, even though it is really not so. Then I know the immediate past governor of Rivers State, he did a lot for cancer treatment in Rivers State. Now that is at the state level. At the national level, if you are in Abuja and you are passing through the airport road from City Gate to the airport, there's a cancer center by the road. It has been overtaken by weed. Surya Adua Cancer Center. It has been overtaken by weed. So these are the things I think that are inhibiting us, but they are not insurmountable. One, we have mentioned this. So, doctor, I'm putting it back to you now. If your professional colleagues can begin to talk about this thing, it has to take collective effort. It's not what an individual group should do. So for us as lawyers, we also have the responsibility of talking about regulation, the legislation that will regulate this area of practice, because that is what is obtainable that's where the world is. So combined efforts from the professionals, one, from us lawyers taking our beat, then from the legislators, the politicians. That is the only way Nigeria can realize this. But it will shock you that if you sit an average Nigerian politician down to discuss it, that is not what he wants to hear. It's unfortunate. The person, what is occupying his mind is the next election. And maybe the contract, okay, this thing you want to do now, how is it, which company is supplying? How is my person going to supply? What we bring, how will it be cited in my geopolitical zone or in my constituency? Those are the primordial thoughts that are occupying our minds. Then we have to also begin to collaborate. By that, I mean borrowing technologies from the first world, if we may call them that way. Borrowing technologies, what is obtainable, it can start small. The other day I was watching CNN, I was seeing hospitals in Israel. I was just laughing. I was telling my colleague in the office, this is a hospital. Can this is a hospital? Can you see this? So we also have this, our governments have this approach of thinking that hospital is the building. Trained manpower, trained personnel is more important than the building. Why the building is important, but what we do is raise a structure, politicize it, because you raise a structure, you paint it, you put equipment, maybe in 2 wards, where on the day of commissioning, people will come to see. That's where the press will cover. And after that, nothing more. So, number one issue that is inhibiting us from making progress, not just in this area, but in every other area we are lagging behind, is lack of sincerity of purpose. Lack of sincerity of purpose, one. Then lack of governmental will. The government is so powerful that they can do anything they want to do, as far as it is in the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians. The government can achieve it. So, but where there is lack of sincerity of purpose, in the sense that a money voted for a project A could be diverted and there is no consequence, and we play politics with it, that shows like, oh, it's like now, I give you money. I say, go and buy this for me. Go and buy car for me. I didn't see car. I didn't see my money. I didn't see explanation from you. Just yesterday, okay, I mentioned corruption as one of the things inhibiting us. Yesterday, I read a story on Facebook. It could be true, it could be false, but it's like an NGO tracking a monetary allocation. They say a particular polytechnic, I don't want to mention names, was the sum of 125 million was allocated for purchase of 5 vehicles since 2021 till today. No vehicle, no accountability for the money. And they say when they made inquiry, the feedback they got is the money is not enough to buy 5. Okay, if it's not enough to buy 5, have you bought 2? Have you even bought 1? Have you bought 3? Have you bought what the money is enough to buy since 2021? Nobody is held responsible. So that is it. We are not just serious collectively as a people. It's not that we don't know what to do. It's not that when these politicians travel, they don't see what is happening elsewhere, but selfishness and corruption is what is keeping us. It's not rocket science. If any government comes and puts his feet down to say, I am going to do this, this government is going to do this, it will be achieved. What the governor of Abia State is doing, 3 governors have ruled Abia State 8 years each, making 24 years before he came. The first governor ruled 8 years, the second one 8 years. That is under democratic dispensation. First governor 8 years, second one 8 years, the immediate past governor 8 years. And what this man has achieved in less than 1 year has outweighed what 3 people cumulatively did in 24 years. That is sincerity of purpose. So I think for me, those are the things keeping us from making progress in any sector, not just in the health, not just in implement, in any sector. Check one or a combination of these factors are responsible. That's my humble submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for helping us answer that question. Thank you also to Doctor for also helping us with that question. I can see Miracle raising her hand. So please, Miracle, you can go ahead and ask your question. Miracle, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here. Good evening, our mentors, our hosts. Good evening, everyone. My name is Miracle. So my question is basically this. I want to ask, is there any established system of training in Nigeria for at least promoting awareness of the telehealth industry and innovations, because I think that the government also has a very crucial role to play, as our mentors have emphasized severely. So I want to ask, is there any system of awareness? Because what people don't know, they are usually not open to, like, even till now, there are still persons that don't like dealing with transactions online because they don't trust it, but and because they're not really aware of how the system works. So there are so many innovations going on in other systems, and our country is so underdeveloped. I believe majorly because of awareness. Most persons are not aware, and even when they're aware that these things exist, they don't really know how to use it. So is there any awareness programs, at least even in the government industry, for government hospitals that are supposed to undergo these developments? Is there any system to train them
Okay,
on these advancements?
let me quickly answer your question. Telemedicine is not a distinct area of medical practice per se, in the sense that you do not have a special training for a doctor who wants to practice telemedicine, or to say this is a telemedical school and this is the normal medical school. No. Once a person is qualified, telemedicine is just a medium about means, not a type. It's a means. It's like somebody wants to go to Lagos, means of transportation. This person is going by car, another person is going by flight. That's basically that. It's a means of conveying the same medical service to the patient. So where the training might come in is when we begin, okay, the use of computer. Somebody needs to be trained, of course. If you are not computer literate, you might not be able to do certain things. But at least phone, everybody can use phone. But if you are a medical doctor, you should be able to know how to maneuver the phone communication. But where the training might come in is data storage, data security, and all that, patients' rights issues, ethical issues, which are already provided in the Code of Medical Ethics. I cited section 22 of the Code of Medical Ethics, which talks specifically about telemedicine. So that is on the one hand. You know, I said part of what is inhibiting us is what I call professional indolence. Now, your question can be answered as the answer. The answer to your question could be professional indolence. It is not the government that will come to promote telemedicine, because the government may not know. By who is the government? All of us are the government. Yes, we have elected people, but those who have that responsibility, they may not know. The government works with proposals. The government works with ideas. The government works with suggestions and memos. Who are the people who will generate this idea? It's the professionals that know. So if Medical and Dental Council now goes to pay a courtesy visit on the Minister of Education, Minister of Health, who is also a medical personnel, and they say, Oga, this is what we need, this is what we think should be done to improve healthcare service delivery. Now, the question will arise. The issue has entered government corridor. So do we need to understudy India? Do we need to understudy maybe America? Is it UK we need to understudy? Is it France? How are they doing it? It is still the medical doctors that will do that. So regulatory part, okay, what should we do? You get experts, legal experts, to draft the law to say, okay, this. But beyond that, I mentioned number one, technological infrastructure. To do this, we need to have 24 hours power supply. If we don't have it nationwide, that particular hospital that is providing that service, we can even test run one in one geopolitical zone. We have 6 geopolitical zones. We can even start with Abuja. We can upgrade National Hospital and University of Abuja Teaching Hospital as a test run. What it means is that these 2 hospitals must have 24 hours power supply. But I can tell you free of charge that they don't. 2019, I handled a case, a lady who was having an issue, wanted to sue one hospital here, a tertiary hospital. I intervened. We opted for alternative dispute resolution, called the CMD. He scheduled a meeting. We attended. One of the complaints of the woman, she was a kidney patient. She was having a kidney challenge. And when she goes for dialysis, then we cannulate her. Doctor understands what I'm saying when I say cannulate. And they won't arrest the blood on time. She was losing so much blood. Out of fear, she stopped going to hospital A. She now went to hospital B to do the same dialysis. After about 2 weeks, somebody who was doing dialysis once a week now stays 2 weeks without doing. When she went to hospital B said that their generator is down. So they do not have light to power their dialysis machine. Is anyone hearing me at all? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Now, you can see the challenge. We are not talking about robotic surgery yet. We are talking about a patient who came for dialysis. They say they do not have lights to power the dialysis machine. There was a time I had a meeting with a tertiary hospital. I went there and I had an online lecture. While I was in that premises, my phone went down. I could not see a place to charge my phone because the entire premises, including the CMD's office, had no power. So if we are talking solution, number one is the infrastructure it will take to do what we are talking about here. The primary of which is 24 hours power supply, whether nationwide or at least at any particular healthcare facility that is going to run this. So that is it. I hope I answered your question. If you are not talking about publicity, it is when we have achieved it, if we have built or established one facility that can do that, that's where the National Orientation Agency can now come in to publicize, to say, okay, maybe even if it is to give credit to the government, to say, well, the government, as part of its developmental stride, we have done this in our healthcare sector. We now have fully maybe robotic surgeries can be done in Nigeria now. It can be done at XYZ hospital. So they can use it. They can now play all the politics to say, for that hospital, they have 24 hours light. I don't have a quarrel with that. That hospital, they have this, I don't have a quarrel with that. But to start it, it behoves on the profession, which is the medical profession. That's where the starting point is. Other people can now fill in along the line. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barrister Ebenezer. I just wanted to just impute something, right? Hello? Was he here, right?
You can go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Yes,
okay, all right.
Uh-huh.
Just wanted just a brief, just to add a little on what Barrister Ebenezer said. You know, the question was about whether there are programs, right? Programs to, you know, like enlighten the public, or is it health practitioners or the public or the government? But I know that in the health space, people just apart from private practitioners, they have their own, you know, they could have the experience outside the country, they training abroad, or maybe they've had some internship or some kind of practice over there whereby they needed to use all those G2 platforms to be able to practice efficiently there, and then they're bringing it back to Nigeria. They can have their own private practice, which any practice you open in Nigeria as a private practitioner, it must still go through the normal regulatory bodies, even standard the Standard Organization of Nigeria. they actually still go about making sure that even equipment and things like that, products that are using your facility goes well, apart from the regular, Ministry of Health and all of those processes. Now, because this telemedicine is something innovative, it's just coming up in Nigeria right now. It's not so, I don't think the federal government has not created any platform whereby it will be put maybe in the medical curriculum, for example, that when you're going through medical school, maybe as you're graduating or you're in final year, they start introducing to telemedicine and then maybe your housemanship and service year, they'll put all those things in place, which if the government was in charge, they will put all those ones. But presently, I know a facility right now that they are even in the verge of bringing something to Nigeria. We are actually working in what they call that. So we are working offshore. We are working in digital space. They're able to establish a very powerful device, a medical equipment that helps to decompress the spine, the lumbar spine. People that have all this spondylosis and back pain issues, that their nerves are impinged upon and everything. People that normally they should be thinking of surgeries, spinal surgeries now, even if such an expensive surgery, and also all the uncertainties, always like 50-50. So, but this particular private facility, actually a hospital, they were able to acquire a very, very great a machine that will be able to decompress the patient, their spine. Now, it's not in Nigeria because of the insecurities. They're actually operating in Ghana. But we as medical practitioners here in Nigeria, we are able to see patients like everything that has to do with their examination and everything. We handle all those things here. Even their preliminary pain prevention, because most of them are in acute pain. And instead of them taking injections, pain medications, and all those, terrible medication that could actually affect their organs and everything, they go through a special therapy here. Mind you, the machine is not in Nigeria, but we're able to assess. He's able to, get access to the patients that we've already evaluated here. And then what we just do is just to forward the evaluation, and after our own physical examination, and after our own, when we stabilize the patient from their acute pain, that they are not able to travel by them, when they have the time, they're not able to travel to Ghana and, take advantage of the device. This is even in Ghana, it's not because we can't have it in Nigeria. Mind you, it's insecurity. That's another thing again. Okay, the insecurity of them practicing, because they are foreigners, they are not even Africans, but they found Ghana as a safer place for them to establish the instrument. Now, those things they will go through regulation. If you had to start it in Nigeria now, it's a very innovative medical program, and it helps a lot of patients off surgeries and off their pains, and allows them to be free from excruciating pains and heals over time. If we're to establish it in Nigeria, it has to still go through that standardization, right? Because we see most patients online. Why that aspect is coming on? Are you hearing me? The aspect is coming on now because of the trainings and everything. We have to go through our own private training with the facility CEO or the manager, the owner. So it's a private taught system whereby you'll be able to learn from that system, and then you're able to be a blessing to the patient based on the training that you got. Now, if it's going to be established, it must go through the regular standardization, like going through the standard standardization of Nigeria, or going through the Medical and Dental Council regulation, or the health maintenance standardization policies, all of them that are in place for you to have a particular instrument that has to do with somebody's health. It must go through that process. But the training itself, you can have access to trainings right now if you're interested through private-owned institutions, health institutions. Then I believe, as Barrister was saying, once we start having many of those things and the results are so like tremendously successful, people can now introduce, even the government and themselves, they can now show interest in it, and then they'll start making it available for the public. Everything will now be subsidized in terms of training. Currently, we're trying to also create an institution, a research institution in my other practice that I'm doing here right now. And that research institute is for us to be able to open out to all medical facilities for them to be able to get access to this particular innovation. Now, that one is not by the government, it's by a board of sponsors and partners. They are still in different parastatals in the country, but it's not a federal government trained process. But if with time, I believe from the private owned trainings and from the success rates that we see that these innovative digital devices are bringing those results in people, the government themselves, they don't have any other choice but also implement that and try to make it subsidized so that the training can be nationwide and less cost effective, like less expensive, you understand? But these things are already on ground in the private sector, depending on the area that one is looking to. As for telemedicine, as Barrister was talking about, the telemedicine aspect is as available as somebody just deciding to create an app, for example, that will be able to host many medical professionals and then also be able to connect prospective patients or clients and then create the digital marketing on it and everything. It's already going on. There are about 5 of them right now that actually belong to. So, but these were individuals that actually created the apps. I believe some of them were sponsored by, they got the sponsorship by grants and all of this because it was an innovative venture. And then they were able to get grants to create, for it to be standardized in that way, the digital platform. So basically, the government is just because it's just Nigeria for now. But I know that if we continue with the private trainings, if we take our own personal, if we're interested and we go through those private trainings and then we're putting it in our own practice. And the only way you cannot put it, maybe if you're working in the federal system, in the federal hospital, you may not be able to implement your own private training inside that system, right? So that's where our research comes in. We're creating a kind of a research institute whereby we bring all those things inside the private facilities as well. And then the private, within the government facilities, I'm trying to say the government health sectors, the leadership within the government-owned health institutions themselves, apart from the government itself, the local leaders like the CMD and all of those things, they can decide to implement all those trainings as well for the students, medical students or health practitioners, if they feel that it's a laudable stuff and it's giving them the results that they are looking for. So I think that's for now. That's the way it's run in Nigeria. But I believe we're positive that if many people jump into the canvas of this kind of practices, the federal government will actually go ahead and make it subsidized and more like take charge of it as well, so that everybody will be able to access it in a more cost-effective way. So thank you so much. Thank you very much. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. You're welcome.
And thank you very much, Ma. And thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Barrister Ebenezer. I think now we've quite overshot our time, but I think the session itself has been
Your voice is low, sir. Mr. Moderator, please, could you increase your voice?
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, but I'm straining my ear.
Oh, okay, sorry. I think it's my network. The network is a bit bad over at my end. So I was saying that we've overshot our time, but it has been an interesting session, and I'm sure all our mentees have learned a thing or two. So, Mr. Ebenezer, for sharing your own thoughts and insights. And thank you, Dr. Arita, for also helping us just run through what are the issues in the health tech space and telemedicine, and what we need to do to now move on as a country from where we are to where our healthcare is much better, and the practice of it is at a level where it can benefit even citizens that may not necessarily have the ability to gain access to quality healthcare. So I want to thank both our mentors for sparing their time, their knowledge, and their experience to come be here and share their knowledge with us. And it has been a wonderful session. We look forward to having our mentors in subsequent classes and subsequent sessions. I think Barrister Ebenezer has been with us from week 1, and I'm sure he will be with us till the end. And also, Doctor also will be with us in one of the other in another section. So we look forward to having both of you in the subsequent section. Thank you to our mentees that were able to stay true to the end of the
Thank
class.
you.
Yes, sir. Thank you to everyone. And I think
Doctor, please, I will request your contact from the moderator after the session.
Absolutely, sir. Sure. No problems at all.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much, moderator.
We'll do well to send your contacts to Mr. Ebenezer. Thank you to everyone, and good night, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It was wonderful being here with the family.
Thank you all.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you so
good
much.
Night. Moderator, you missed out one of your program. You do not have photo session for today's class. Hello, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Did you hear me?
The network is.
Yes, sir. Okay, I heard you. Okay,
I said you do not have photo session for today's class.
Okay. Sorry about that. It skipped my mind. I was considering the lighting
for your
in my
files.
background. Yeah.
Okay, right, so there's no problem.
Can we just, if we have our mentees, if you could have lighting in your background, please can you kindly turn on your video so that we can just quickly take that. I think I may be able to still take the photo section. So please, mentees, if you can turn on your video camera so that we can just have our quick photo. Okay. Okay, thank you very much to everyone. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ma. We really, really appreciate your time and your energy and your knowledge. Goodbye and have a wonderful night rest.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.